What's the one thing that keeps people stuck from ever getting to that type of life, do you think? There's millions of business owners, but very few of them are living the type of life that they want. What do you think it is?
So there's never a good one thing answer. Yeah. I hate the question. No offense. But a big one is that they are in their own way psycho-emotionally.
Yeah.
People have really bad relationships with money. And a lot of it is, what did they hear at the top of the stairs when they were 8? Conditioning, then reinforced by experience. Everything from actual practical financial illiteracy, which unfortunately our country is overrun with, to all this psycho-emotional stuff. Okay? And if you don't understand that, and you don't, like, if you have it, you don't do something to change it and replace it, it's like dragging weights behind you in a marathon race. Everybody else is running free, and you've got 150 pounds of weight tied to your belt that you're dragging down the road, right? And so that's one part of the equation, I think. Another part of the equation is that people don't understand, they don't know actually why money moves from person to person, place to place, and how to be in sync with that rather than in conflict with that. And that includes what we were just talking about, is the idea that, gee, if I'm really good at what I do, that should be enough, right?
Because that's what I was told.
And they think that's why money, but it's not. Yeah. It's just not. It's not how money works. So there's a practical understanding of the truth about why money moves. It's always in motion, by the way. And there's no shortage of it, despite what some politics may claim for reasons of its own. Walt was right. There's no shortage of money. There's just a shortage of imagination and initiative. Right. There's no shortage of money. But there's a lot of misunderstanding about its rules, why it does this, why it does that, right? So, like, if you're going to play pool, billiards, this is a mini billiards table. If you're going to play billiards at a competitive level, you have to really actually understand physics, right? Because shooting pool is about angles, and so you're going to understand physics to a certain extent. Golf, right? You've got to understand why the ball does what it does when you hit it this way versus that way, etc. You got to know. If you're gonna sail, there's all sorts of stuff you got to know about how the wind works, right? So if you're gonna get wealthy, and you're going to keep it, which is a whole nother topic of conversation, then you have to know how money works. And candidly, most business people do not. And so those two things, the understanding and the kind of the relationship with it, there's a whole, I talk a lot about wealth intimidation, that people have been persuaded and have embedded that um, that even wanting it, planning to have it, demanding it of a business or a practice for exchange of value, it makes them squeamish. It's somehow, unseemly, right? But you don't get what you don't plan for. Well, if you do, it's generally stuff you don't want. And money has to feel welcome and accepted and respected, in order to move and stay in a place. So you see all the time. See, we've been trying to cure poverty with money since FDR, and really on an accelerated basis since LBJ. That's a lot of years. We have poured just awesome amounts of money into the war on poverty. And we're losing the war worse in 2023 than we were in 1998. All we've done is actually produce more and deeper poverty, because no matter how much money you give to somebody, if they have a bad relationship with money and they don't understand money, they will find a way to disgorge it. It will be taken from them, right? So like if we give people SNAP, food stamps, but we don't teach them how to intelligently shop, all the way down to simple stuff like, yeah, the convenience store at the corner accepts this, but this is not where you ought to buy your groceries, right? And here's why. Guess what? The money moves from the poor person to the rich person that owns the convenience store, right? And so, and then we build a poverty industry around this. So most of the money, of course, disappears into the industry. It doesn't even go to the poor people to start with. But we've waged the wrong war from the very beginning. If we had waged a war of education and motivation and opportunity, we would have a lot less poverty. And if you have any kind of a little poverty consciousness in here, and you can't win that war by trying to increase your income, right? So there is a mindset issue to this, and there's a practical behavioral issue, and then a practical business issue, and they all interrelate.
Right. Well, hopefully that's what we've put together for the day. I think everybody's had a sneak peek of what we're going to discuss. We're going to go through the practical elements of the business, and ultimately how we move people from insurance towards cash, and how we stop the dependency on doctors and referrals from doctors to get that level of autonomy, step outside and be that independent, successful practice. And we'll start the day with some, what I suspect will be a very rousing discussion about money and the false beliefs around money and why some people have it, why they don't. And the 2 days, well, the whole weekend will take place July the 8th and 9th. If you are looking for a ticket, you want to come and spend the 2 days with me and a full day on Saturday with Dan, it's paulgough.com/Dan. And Dan, we're going to get into more of these principles at that weekend here in Cleveland.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for your time. We'll see you then. paulgough.com/Dan.
Thanks for watching this video. And if you found it helpful, and if you now find yourself thinking, I wonder what else this person can help me with, head over to paulgough.com/books, where you can find my best-selling books, which will show you how to add more profit to your practice. Or send an email to paul@paulgough.com to ask about how we can help you accelerate the growth and profitability of your clinic. And by the way, if you know anybody who would find this helpful, please share this video out. Thanks so much.